I want to sit down and do some multiplayer. I'm not sure which one to do. I've already collected the blueprints from multiplayer 2. I do want that pack though, because it might have a body part I don't have. And then maybe I'll just collect these tokens before I do the main multiplayer, because the main one I'm already 15,000 points through and there's 5 days left. That's pretty easy to finish. So let's just do this a little bit. This is Slipstream. It's Ghost Slipstream. So one of the best cars to use here is the Apollo N or the DBS and the Huracan. Huracan's a safe bet. I've only got 2 gas on the Huracan. I'll use that up, then I'll go to the Apollo. Today, this is a Mad Talks episode. I haven't decided on the name of it. I'll think of a name when I write the title. But today I'm going to talk about my attempted broadband installation today. And it ended up being quite an interesting event. So there's 2 companies providing fibre to my house, to my flat. One of them's available today. The next one will be available in a couple of months. I shouldn't name the companies. But they're 2 of the London companies. And one of them, the one that's ready to give us the product, phoned me on Wednesday and said, do I want to buy it? And I'd asked them to phone me when it was ready. So I don't buy things over the phone, but I want this product. I don't mind paying for my old internet and the new one at the same time. I just want the product. And so I said, yeah, I'll take it. When do you want to come and fit it? And they said Saturday. So Saturday being tomorrow. So I was just like, that's fine. And then the call was over. It was done. I'd booked my broadband, my fibre broadband, my 1 gigabyte fibre broadband to be installed on Saturday. And then I sort of get back to work. And then 5 minutes later, someone from that company calls me up and says, there's a problem. I'm like, what's the problem? And they're like, we need to book in your day. And I was like, they've already told me Saturday. And it's like, oh, we can't do Saturday. And I was like, well, I thought it was weird because it's in the middle of the Easter weekend. And he's like, yeah, we'll probably have to do a day after Tuesday next week. And I go, well, just tell me when do you want to do it? When's the soonest day? And he goes, Friday. Friday, Good Friday, tomorrow, on Friday this week. And he's like, yeah. He's like, do you want 8 till 1 or 11 till 4? And I asked for 11 till 4 because it's a bank holiday today. I don't want someone banging on my door at 8 a.m. in the morning, even though this morning we had the bin trucks at 8 a.m. banging our building to shit that it was literally like standing in an earthquake when they slammed the doors on the back. The floor I was the other side of the house and the floor literally moved under my feet and nearly made me lose balance when they slammed the doors on the back of our building. That was exactly what I reported them to the police for, because it could be argued as deliberate intimidation because they don't even need to close the doors and they're really hard to close. So how they're managing to slam them in this way that they're slamming them that shakes the whole building in a way that it feels like an earthquake that you nearly lose balance in is quite amazing. But anyway, back to the broadband. I can't remember where I was with broadband. Yeah, then they say they're going to come on Friday. And because they had already told me Saturday and then told me they couldn't do Saturday, I've already lost this race. Because they told me Saturday and then they couldn't do Saturday, I didn't really trust that they could do Friday. I'm right at the back. Yeah. I shocked too late. I wasn't thinking. But now we've got the Apollo, which has the better top speed. But yeah, so I didn't trust that they would come on Friday. So on this morning, Friday morning, 11:20, which 11:30, half an hour after the slot started, I think I should just message I should call their customer care just to check they are actually working today and it wasn't a mistake. So I try and call, no one's there, the lines are closed, but they've got a live chat option on their website. So I go to the live chat, talk to them, say, can you just tell me that the engineer is coming today? And the guy says, oh, I've talked to the engineer, he'll ring you when he's on his way. The slot's 11 till 4. And at 3:30, he hasn't come, and I'm still paranoid. He's not going to come. They're just going to turn up at the end and go, sorry, it's got too late. We're not coming now. And it's like, you've just cost me an entire bank holiday waiting for these people. But I was willing to give it up. but I don't like giving. It was them that suggested the date. I didn't force them to do this date. They chose the date. They should have the capacity. They shouldn't overbook. But anyway, he eventually turned up at 4:10. It was maybe 4:20 when he managed to get from the car to my front door and into my house. The only question I did ask, I thought it was perfectly legitimate to ask him why he was late, and he just told me it's part of the job, it's the way it is, and nothing would have changed the fact that he's late. And so I then say, oh, so it was your manager's fault for overbooking you? And he's like, no, it's just part of the job. Which to me is either he swanned off and took time off and he's late because he basically, it's sunny today. In my head, I was saying it's probable that he's just gone for a long lunch, enjoying the sun. He's got one job left that he doesn't have to go till 4. So he's spanning it out. And then if he starts this job at 4 and takes 2 hours, he can bill his company for working till 6 when he might have finished at 4 had he come earlier, or he might have even finished at 1 p.m. if he had come at 11. God knows what he was up to. But anyway, if he was busy all day and he couldn't get all the jobs in, that's just mismanagement. That's setting expectations for customers that you can't deliver. So that I would blame the management for. So either way, it's either his fault or the management's fault that he was late. And being 4:15 is late because it had been implied in all the conversations that the 11 till 4 slot included the work time, and the work time would be up to 2 hours. But anyway, we're laughing and joking. I'm getting on with him fine once he's in the room, and we've got over the question of why were you late? Just jovially chatting about different things, about how someone can just cut one wire outside my house and now cut off my internet and all my internal security and everything. It's just a bit, it's not like the movies where your house is secure. Literally there's one little wire on the outside that you could cut with a toenail clipper, and that's all our internet gone to our building. With the old lines, no one can really tell what they are. But anyway, that was our friendly conversation that lasted quite a long time. And then he's just doing the cables for an hour, putting them in. But he wanted to put the box in a really horrible place on my wall, and I just asked him to put it somewhere else, which doesn't actually cost any more time. But then he started to tell me that he's late because of people like me asking him to do stuff. And I just said to him, well, I've waited all day for you, so I think the least you could do is do it properly. And then there was just the awkward silence for the 40 minutes as he puts all the cables in. And then he comes back in my house after going outside to do something with a ladder and come back in. And he's just standing by my windowsill, tapping on the windowsill, huffing and puffing, occasionally punching the windowsill and sucking his teeth, going like, I can't do it, like sucking his teeth. And it was just all these signs of stress and not aggression at that stage, but just stress and something's wrong. And at the same time, I can see his device that he uses for diagnostics on my system with a massive red word on it saying low, so something's wrong. So 10 to 20 minutes of him huffing and puffing, just staring at a mobile phone, tapping the screen but not actually doing anything, not touching any of the equipment, just looking at his mobile, standing in my window, huffing and puffing, punching the windowsill, and in addition, whenever a woman walked past, lurching out the window and perving on them. And those people are my neighbours, and people know I live here. It's pretty, I didn't feel very happy with him perving on women outside my window. But anyway, then after 15 minutes of that, I just asked him, is anything wrong? And he's just like, it's part of the job. That's not an answer. I didn't say that's not an answer. I just want to know, is there a problem or isn't there a problem? So when he goes, it's part of the job, and I know there's a problem because his screen's saying there's a problem that's right. I just go, ask again, but is there a problem? It's part of the job. Sorry, mate. Is there a problem? It's part of the job. Go away. And not go away, but it's part of the job, just dismissing me to go away. So then for like 10 minutes, I have to sit in silence because I've been told to shut up by the aggressive broadband installation engineer in my home. And then he calls up one of his colleagues and he goes, hi boss, I've sent you a message, you haven't replied. And then you just hear on the other end of the phone, murmur, 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 murmur. And then he's like, why have you deleted it? You're being stupid. Why are you deleting messages? And then for 5 minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, he's just arguing with this guy, telling him he's stupid, patronizing him, saying, why did you delete the message? When it doesn't matter why someone deleted the message. That's not going to solve the problem. Just deal with what the actual problem was and solve it. And so he's getting so aggressive on the phone. And I have to say, all the people that have ever been in my house know there's a rule. You do not argue in my house. You do not argue with me in my house. And you do not argue with anyone in my house. Otherwise, you just leave, okay? And so when he's arguing, I didn't know what to do. So I've got this stranger in my house that I've got to leave there to fit this stuff that's arguing with people on the phone. So I just go out on my balcony because I cannot take that anger and aggression in my living room. And then when he finishes the phone call, I come inside to say, if you need to speak to your colleagues again, can you go outside and do it in the van, especially if you're going to argue with them? And then he just started telling me how the only reason he's like that with them is because I'm bothering him every 2 minutes, asking him questions. All I'd asked him was the one question after sort of 20 minutes of silence, and is there anything wrong, that he never answered. And then was using it against me for the rest of the time he was there, just to tell me how it's all my fault he's in such a bad mood because I've asked him if something's wrong. He's in a bad mood because something's wrong, and he won't tell me what it is. The reason he won't tell me what it is because the problem that's wrong is everyone's gone home because he was bloody late. So he's sitting there waiting for someone else in the office to activate something, but it's Good Friday, it's 6:15 p.m. Anyone that was working on Good Friday has gone home. When I asked him to leave my house to make the phone calls, he didn't leave. You ask someone to leave your house and they don't leave. You ask them again to leave your house, they don't leave. I was thinking, I need to call the police to get rid of this guy. And then after that, him telling me that it's all my fault he's aggressive with his staff, and it's all my fault that he can't do anything. It's all my fault that he's now shouting at me in my own house. I'm like, you're in my house. You can go to your van to get away from this. I can't get away from you. You're in my house. And the other weird thing was every time he walked out my front door, he looked into my bedroom and stopped and scanned everything. Like he was analysing it like for a future mission or robbery or something. I don't want to say. I am not saying who these people are. I have not said the company name. I don't know the name of the person, even though he told me it. I'm deliberately forgotten it because it's a stupid name, and I'd like to call him something different if I ever see him again, because he doesn't deserve to have his name remembered. But where am I going? Oh, I'm racing on asphalt. Wait. So then after that, him refusing to leave my house because he said he had to be standing next to the equipment while he waited for this text message. I'm not sure how different, if he had just gone outside, walked up and down the road, then when the text message come, walked back in and done whatever to do, that would have been exactly the same thing. There's nothing on the equipment. There's no buttons. There's no configuration settings. There's no different setup, i.e. you can't put the plugs into different things. You just plug it in and everything else is done externally. Go and sit in your van and do it. And anyway, when I think he realises everyone's gone home, after this 15 minutes of even worse silence, after he's completely hounded me in the most aggressive way in my own home, he goes, oh, I'm going now. I don't think it's going to work. And so I just went, like, fine, get out. And he's trying to tell me something, but I'm just like, just get out. And he leaves the door. I wanted him to leave. I wanted to let him leave without saying anything, but I said a couple of things. That's a nice name. See, I was very entertained by Facebook when they said they're going to allow hate speech, but only if it's about Putin and you're in Ukraine. It's like it amused me because we put these algorithms in to stop hate speech, and then they realize, well, actually, we allow hate speech, as long as it's about things we all think we should hate. So in the past, it was the devil. You're all allowed to hate the devil. So yeah, screw the devil, sod the devil. But now it's Putin. So you're allowed to, against all of the rules of Facebook about being aggressive and inciting violence, you're allowed to ask for Putin's head on a stick because they've opened up the algorithm, because they've all decided it's okay to hate Putin. I don't care what you think about Putin. I don't think it's okay to free up hate speech for one person because a certain majority have decided that that's okay. I can't remember where I was with the broadband guy. I didn't say anything that aggressive. I think I just called him a prick after he'd actually left my house. And then what he said is, you didn't say that when you were in your house. He was actually implying that had I called him a prick when he was in my house, he would have knocked me out. Can you imagine having a fucking broadband person come into your house and then be that aggressive that you know you can't talk to him honestly because he probably will start a fight with you in your house. So you have to be polite, wait for him to leave, and then just, him shouting from the street like, yeah, go make your complaint, man. Oh. If I make a proper complaint, I think he'll be fired. I did have my phone, after he started shouting at me, I did start putting the voice recorder on my phone because I thought I'd better record this conversation, but I don't think I've recorded enough to use. And yeah, I don't have any new broadband installed, but I've just got the email saying they hope I'm enjoying my new broadband and the bill started. So that's lovely. I think I've told people before on this channel, I don't really like workmen in my home. And I held myself together as best as any human could with this guy. I'm trying to imagine how other people I know would have reacted to this guy, and they would have just lost their rag. The only thing keeping you, like, being submissive, not being yourself, was the desire for him to keep him happy so that he just gets his job done and gets out. But everything you said, he had to argue. Argue with me, argue with his colleagues, argue with everything. And how dare someone stand in my living room punching my windowsills and huffing and puffing? What a prick. This company better apologise to me. They moan at me that I called him a prick. I say I actually meant to call him an effing prick. Worse than a prick. It's like his mother must have had to try really hard to raise him to be that much of a prick. And if they don't resolve the situation, I'll put the company name in the title of the video, so we all know which company did this to me. But at the moment, I don't blame the company, because this is just one employee that was grumpy as hell when he turned up. I wasn't in a good mood because they were late, but I wanted it solved, so I was just letting it be. Whatever you do, whatever you need to do, just do it. 7 hours of my day used up for that. Oh, I've used all the fuel on that. I might go to normal mode because I want to do some KDs. It's cathartic. The bin men stuff has nearly been solved. When I threatened, well, I did go to the police, and when I told the council I was going to the police about the bin men, then immediately they moved back an hour and stopped being so aggressive. But then on Wednesday last week, that they turned up at 8:40, which is like an hour and 40 minutes later than their normal time has been for the last 2 years. And when they turned up, they removed like a gate's locked to to 4 car parks, to 4 garages, to a small car park complex. There's a locked gate, and they want to get through this gate every day to collect a bin behind there. And they've got a key for this gate, but they don't like opening it, they don't like locking it. So on Wednesday last week, they unlocked the gate, then opened it, then locked the lock again, but then removed the key canister so no one could lock or unlock it again or close the gate. And then they just told people the lock was broken, and they told someone else that they forgot their key. So they told 2 different people 2 different things. To one people, they said they forgot their key and they needed to remove the lock to gain access. Even though they're coming back in 48 hours, they had to break through a gate to empty a bin that they could just come and get later. And they have the key. They shouldn't break through this gate. Imagine living somewhere where you've got a gate to your front drive, and when the bin men come, if they can't get through the gate, they just smash the gate down. That's where I live. Okay, and that gate is actually the gate that secures my car in the garage that it's in. So I then have to contact the garage's people and say, can you get the lock replaced? I think the bin men have removed it. And they call the bin men, find out they have removed it, tell the bin men off. The bin men have to pay to fix the lock. That was Wednesday last week. And then they tell me the lock will be replaced early this week. And on Tuesday, they come to replace the lock. But the people that come to replace the lock didn't turn up with a lock. So it was sort of, then they're still not there. And on Monday and Tuesday, my car was completely blocked in because now people have learned that this gate's now open. There's a free car parking space that's unmonitored. So they're going in. And then I get a bit agitated that they've turned up without a lock when they knew they needed a lock. So I call up again. And then on Wednesday, they come and put a lock in. And I go to check, can I open this lock? But no, it's a different lock. Now my key doesn't work. So now my car's trapped behind a gate that I don't have a key for. So I have to call them up again on Wednesday and say, I can't get into this. My key doesn't work. He goes, oh, we'll look into that and I'll call you back. He doesn't call me back, but an hour later, the gate magically opens. Someone turns up and they unlock the gate so I can get to my car. But this is now Wednesday or Thursday. This is Wednesday 2 days ago before a bank holiday weekend. So on Thursday, I wake up and I'm still anxious because if someone locks that gate now, I've lost my car for the whole weekend. And I actually would like to go somewhere this bank holiday weekend. I'd like to be free to go somewhere. And on Friday morning, the bin crew are going to come again and they're going to lock the gate if it's unlocked because they're instructed and they've just been told off that they have to lock the gate. And we can't tell them not to lock the gate for 1 week because then they'll become smart asses and not lock the gate ever again and go, oh, well, you can't say 1 week we want us to lock the gate, 1 week you don't want us to lock the gate. What do you expect us to do? It's like everyone's a smart ass. And so then then the panic is crescendoing through the day because as you approach 5 p.m, the moment it gets to 5 p.m, there's no solution to this. I have to remove my car from the garage. If we get to 5 p.m, if we get to the end of Thursday, I've got to take my car out of the garage for Friday morning, leave it on the street just in case they lock it. And then if they lock it, I've got nowhere to put it for the whole weekend. And if my car's on the street, I'm then incredibly paranoid it's going to be crashed into because it's been crashed into 5 times in 5 years parked outside my house. And that's why it's in a garage. But anyway, at Thursday, 4 p.m, a woman calls me. She's turned up at my house with the key. So it was 10 days of stress and logistics to solve that problem of the bin men removing the lock. I'm pretty sure I can add that to the harassment log of what they've done over the past 2 years. But then on Wednesday, after they've moved back an hour now, but they were still using the Cracksons. And the weird thing about the Klaxon is, this week they were walking behind the truck. So there was a guy walking behind the truck as the truck reversed down the road with the Klaxon on. Why do you need the Klaxon on if someone's walking behind it to check what's there anyway? It's a complete show of like arrogance. They're using the Klaxon as a weapon. So I then email my MP again, just directly saying, that I think they've moved back an hour, but they're still using the Cracksons as a weapon. And I just say that sentence and then say the truth of that statement is demonstrable in many ways. My MP is a lawyer, so that sentence makes sense. I'm just saying that I'm not going to tell you how we can prove that, and I can't prove it, but I can demonstrate the truth of that statement in many ways. And I have lots of videos of all the pickups and the differences between different things to show that they don't use Cracksons ever, except when they're trying to piss us off early morning. And interestingly, that I sent that email on Wednesday, and then this morning, the first time since December 15th last year, they didn't use the Klaxon. And it's like the threat of the police last week took 20 minutes to get through the council and then solve the problem. And now me pressing the matter further with this Klaxon thing, again, was immediate action. And when councils, they make you wait for weeks and months and years for stuff, and never allow yourself to wait, because they can solve everything immediately. If they want to, they can solve everything immediately. And they try and use time as a weapon against you as well, like that, hoping you'll go away if enough time passes. That broadband engineer is never welcome near my flat again. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. It's a short track, isn't it? I get confused on this track sometimes about the route. Come on, DBS. Come on. Keep your shot. Keep your shot. Don't go all over the track. Don't get... That was poltergeist effect, slowing down in their ghosts. I think I'm out of gas on my DBS soon. Oh, I've only got 9 points left to get. And then that's finished. And then I'm going to go to normal multiplayer. I did not bring on that problem with that broadband engineer myself. He was grumpy. He was tired when he got here. I was tired, but I held it together well, just sitting there in silence for like an hour and a half, waiting for him to do stuff. And then just ask the one question, is something wrong? And then just get my head bitten off. And then that used against me for the rest of it. Oh, you're asking questions every 2 minutes. Agitating me, that's why I'm fighting with my colleagues. It's your fault. Catch. Are they in Apollos? Oh, I forgot I'm cooking. And I've just done 20 minutes. Oh, a W12 and an SLR. Done though. Oh, I've completely ruined that beef burger. 25 minutes under the grill. Oh, it's still edible, I suppose. I keep temperatures low because I forget so much. In cooking, if you just lower the temperature a lot, for a lot of things, especially with grilling. Right, I've done that. I'm going to do a few races on Classic. How much position have I dropped? I haven't done it for a few days, yeah. What car shall I start with? The Vanda and then the Senna. My normal duo at the moment. I had to record this video as I think some of you know, it's like my counselling session, where if I won't stop talking about this to myself in my head, if I don't go over it, if I don't just voice it, log it down. So I've already just ranted about this for an hour to my dad, completely worn him out. Because I start getting irrational about things. If anyone's seen The Night Clerk, The Night Clerk's a brilliant movie. Anna de Armas, hot actress. And I can't remember the name of the guy, but the guy's brilliant as well. And the guy's got Asperger's, the main character guy's got Asperger's. And he records people, he records the conversations he has with people. And then when he goes home at night, he plays them back, but he edits them. So he plays back what someone says, and then he changes what he says. but to something more normal. Because when he has a conversation with someone in reality, he's always so anxious. He never says what never says what he really wants to say. And then when he's at home, he can think about it and think, what should I have said then? And he goes through the conversation and I swiped too early. He goes through the conversation and edits it to try and imagine what it would have been like had that situation played out differently. And it's a beautiful thing that I wish I had that idea when I was a kid or something. I had no idea, no awareness of myself. No awareness of myself whatsoever until like 34. But what I do is every conversation I have, which is why I try and avoid having conversations. For every conversation I have, whenever I'm on my own later, I start repeating that conversation, whatever it was about. Whether it's if I bump into someone on the street and just say hi and talk about the weather or what they're up to this month, then I come home and then the conversation starts repeating in my head, and I start playing both parts, and then it sort of morphs into something else. And then I get confused about what actually was said. It's really quite. So after this guy left, I'm repeating all our conversations, but I'm in part way I'm trying to keep it fresh for talking to the guy, but I'm also just looping, trying to think of what else could I have done for that to have ended differently. What could I have said at what point? What would have made it better? What would have made him not be like that? I don't know. Sometimes there is no answer. I'm under attack. Oh. Panda. That was fun. Caramba. In a Batista. I think I might have finished my rant now. Good luck, guys. I'm madder than you.